vaccines.
Why?
Good afternoon, thanks for joining us. When Captain Sir Tom Moore decided to launch a national campaign in his own back garden,
are you encouraging some again?
achieving more in his 100th year
So I'm on children on
in our history, he knew instinctively which organisation he wanted to thank
I'll go on Patricia.
was and is because age groups responsible for the UK's vaccination programme, and we owe our thanks to our brilliant scientists, Bingham, and the Vaccine Task Force, which has procured over 4,000 manufacturers, the delivery drivers, the pharmacists, military medics, countless volunteers. But to get this life-saving medicine into the arms of the nation at the kind of speed that we're seeing, we're relying on the doctors and the nurses and all the staff of our NHS. And it's thanks to their effort, the most colossal in the history of our National Health Service, that we have today passed the milestone of 10 million vaccinations in the United Kingdom, including almost 90% of those aged 75 and over in England, and every eligible person in a care home. And with every jab and every day, we have more evidence about the effectiveness of these vaccines. New research from Oxford University suggests the protection provided by the first dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine kicks in after 3 weeks and lasts right the way through to the booster at 3 months. And research also shows that the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine seems likely to reduce transmission to others. And even if these vaccines cannot make us invulnerable, and no vaccine has ever given 100% protection to everybody, the evidence increasingly shows that our vaccines achieve this crucial objective to reduce death and serious illness from those major strains of COVID that have been subject to research. And in the days leading up to our review point in the week of the 15th of February, we will be accumulating even more data, helped by NHS Test and Trace, so that we can begin to chart a way ahead, starting, if the data allows, with the reopening of schools on March the 8th. And I'll be setting out as much as we can about that roadmap forward on February the 22nd. And though today there are some signs of the numbers of COVID patients in hospital are beginning to fall for the first time since the onset of this new wave, the level of infection is still alarmingly high. And I'm sorry to say we've lost another 1,322 lives in the last 24 hours alone. Our hearts again go out to every family that grieves. And the wards of our NHS are under huge pressure, with more than 32,000 COVID patients still in hospital. And so tonight, let's clap together for Captain Tom at 6 p.m. And let's clap for the spirit of optimism that he stood for. But let's also clap for all those he campaigned for, our brilliant NHS staff and care workers. And let's do everything we can to carry on supporting them. Because if we stay, protect our NHS, then I'm now going to ask Chris to go through the slides.
Thanks, Prime Minister. So the first slide shows the number of people coming forward and testing positive for COVID in the UK. And as you can see, the numbers are now going down steadily. And this is backed up by other studies looking at this in a different way. So there's now a continual steady decline thanks to the work of everyone across the entire country in avoiding unnecessary contact and staying at home, except for the necessary things to do. Next slide, please. As a result of that, the number of people in hospital with COVID has now gone down from its peak quite noticeably. But as the Prime Minister said, there are still a very large number of people in hospital and more people than there were in the first peak in April last year. So this is still a very major problem, but it is one that is heading the right way. Next slide, please. and it is good to see that as a result of that, and this is always a bit later in time, lagged in time, the number of deaths in people who have COVID is beginning to come down. But as the Prime Minister said, the numbers are still extremely high, and they will stay high for quite some time, but coming down, as you can see, on this pathway. And the first effects we will see on vaccination are likely to be on these death numbers. Next slide, please. The good news about vaccination is, as the Prime Minister says, this is steadily increasing in all 4 nations of the United Kingdom, and particularly here in England. We have very clear data showing it going up day on day, and the numbers are now very substantial. Next slide, please. So the final slide, and I wanted to take a little bit of time on this slide, shows 2 things. It shows in the very dark blue bars in the centre the people who have sadly died from COVID, and in the wider bars, these are everybody who's died from COVID to hospital. And this is from a hospital study done here in the NHS system. And what you can see with this is that if you look at the red line, the top red line, this is every age group from 0 to 4 right at the bottom to 90 and over, including Colonel Sir Tom's, Captain Sir Tom's age at the top. And if you look at the first red line, that is the group of people down to the age of 70, including people in care homes, who are liable to go into hospital if they catch COVID, and although the majority still will come out of hospitals, a significant number of those will die. And if you take it down to 70, if you imagine that the vaccine is completely effective, which, as the Prime Minister says, you wouldn't expect for any vaccine, but completely effective, that is 83% of all the people who have died of COVID in this wave are over that age group. So they're over the age which we will get to when we vaccinated everyone over 70. But if you look at the situation for people who've gone into hospital, only 54% of all the people who go into hospital are over that age. So what this means is, once you've vaccinated down to 70 and above, plus those who care for the frontline NHS and frontline care workers, we should significantly reduce the number of deaths, but we will reduce by a much smaller number the number of people going into hospital, because a very large number of people go into hospital who won't come out of hospital, but they have to be in the NHS and have care, for example, oxygen. So we have vaccinated all the way down to what's called the JCVI, the Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation. First wave, this is down to people over 50 and those who have actually got pre-existing health conditions. You then get through virtually all the people who have a high chance of dying, so this is around 98% of those who die are in that group. And importantly, around 80%, just over 80% of all of those who go into hospital. So the first wave, which is the 18th on the 15th of February, we would expect a situation where a rather small NHS. As you go on to the next wave, have further inroads into reducing death and also significant pressure on the NHS. The final point I'd like to make is if you look at the bottom of this, the number of children under the age of 18 going to hospital is relatively very small.
Thanks very much, Chris. Let's go to the public. Spencer and Hammersmith.